Make it special. Make it Maloney.
This segment of the Port Jeff Pulse is brought to you by Holistic Body for You, health coaching by Karen Sullivan.
If I wasn't awake before, I just had that whole thing of water just splashed on my face when Gene Henriksen walks in the door. He's infectious. The energy level, did it go up?
Yeah. It did.
No, did everything go up?
I got super excited when I saw him
Gene
walk
doesn't
through
walk
the
into
door.
him like, how you doing? Matter of fact, he's slapped me before because I'm pretty high energy. And he goes, Kevin, wait, come on. You're better than that. And he's right. He's an inspiring guy. My friend for over 40 years, Gene Henriksen.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? You're starting to look like Sean Hannity. Anyone tell you that yet?
Right. I just
you
need
like
to make
Sean
his
Hannity?
money. I like him. I like him. I like
Yeah.
him. Yeah, we're in that vein now that Trump is president for sure.
You should like replace him if he gets sick one week.
I should replace him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sean
looking for
Hannity.
that.
Oh, my goodness.
So, do you know Gene? You don't know Gene.
No.
But you know of Gene.
I know of Gene.
Do you know of Gene's band?
Yeah.
Is it your favorite band?
It's one of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Completely Unchained.
Yes.
The nation's
Yeah, baby.
tribute band. I mean, you guys are one of the best. I told you this from the beginning. Johnny Roggio,
yeah.
yourself.
Kevin Humphreys,
Kevin.
George Bagonis. It's a great band. If you're paying tribute to somebody, you definitely want to do Van Halen because you
Oh,
can
yeah.
wear what you want, say what you want, hump who you want. No, there's no, there's no humping. It's just a fun bunch of guys. I love Rojo. I've been with them for almost 30 years with Rough Cut.
Yep.
And George Bagonis is probably one of the best drummers I've ever,
Played with.
I played with, yeah. And Kevin, an amazing bass player, an amazing singer, and we're having a ball. 8 years now. And we're just
8 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I used to do Gene's Idol show. We're going to get into that later. But
Okay.
I was literally there the day that Gene says, you know what? I think I want to do this Van Halen thing. I mean, you did
This
push
Van
it.
Halen
I know
thing.
everybody's on board, but you really are the instigator pusher of the band. Am I right?
Well, what happened was, I originally started Big Shot. I'm the original drummer
Okay.
from Big
That's
Shot.
right.
Okay.
And what happened was, when I departed ways, I got a phone call from Johnny Rojo. I'm going to assume I started another company, Music Idol, which we'll talk about later. And I got a phone call from Johnny Rojo, who's in Jersey, who I haven't seen for years. And he called me up because when we were in Rough Cut together with my brother Thomas, we used to do a Van Halen set, and
Okay.
I have my drum tech
Right.
play the drums. So I'd come up from behind the drums and, fill my fantasy of being David Lee Roth for 5 or 6 songs, and it was great. So Johnny Rojo had this singer in New Jersey. It just wasn't, he was one of those guys, he couldn't find his way, so he
Yeah.
wasn't showing up for gigs. So Rojo calls me up out of the blue. I'm like, who's this, I mean,
my
yeah, he
God.
went from like being like a rock star to like Denny Terrio selling guitars at Sam Ash, making a bunch of money. So he asked me to come in and fill in one night. And I'm like, I haven't done the Van Halen since 1984. So I figured, all right, let me give it a shot. So I went and I did the gig at I think it was the Nutty Irishman in Bayshore, and it was a great show. We did like an hour, and he handed me like $350, and I'm like, this is what you make? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you do this all the time? He says, well, we're trying. I said, and he asked me, are you interested in doing this? And I said, absolutely, I'm interested in doing this. But Kevin knows me. Like, when I get involved with something, I like to take it to a level
Yeah,
that
you're
I
all
don't
in.
think. Yeah, I don't think they wanted. I mean, I'm sure they wanted to take it to a level that I wanted to take it to,
Right.
but for some reason, I have to get my hands in there
Yeah.
and just get it up there.
Right.
And now, 8 years later,
Right.
we're getting the money we want. We're playing in the venues. People think you start a great band, you're supposed to be playing in all the great rooms in a year. It doesn't happen like
No
that.
way.
It's a
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, you got to pay your
Right.
dues,
Right.
And after 8
Right.
years, we did the Golden Nugget last week. It was sold out.
Yay.
We just found out yesterday we're doing a casino in Maryland, which they just sold out. We have a bunch of shows in the summertime on Long Island at the beach huts.
How many people are we talking about these days? When you say sell out, how many people are in that room?
It depends.
Anywhere from
Well, Golden Nugget, they had to be between, 500 and 700 people.
sold out.
Sold out. Now, the venue in Baltimore, I believe the seating is 354. But, it's a good feeling when
course.
people are paying $15 to come see you do what you love to do.
Right.
It's the ultimate
Right.
dream because
Right.
think about it. He's doing what he wants and making a living.
Yep.
A.
Yep.
B, he's having the most fun He's having more fun now than 18, and we're going to get into that too. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Okay. They're good at what they do, and they're proficient, and there's adulation all the way through it.
Yeah.
And now today with the internet and the phones,
Right.
you see it again and again and again.
Right.
It's all awesome. He pulls up the other day, and I'll show the picture in the background. I mean, even big rock, huge bands don't get this. Your name's on the marquee, Completely Unchained.
Oh, that was unbelievable. Me and my girlfriend come pulling up, and I actually we pulled into Atlantic City, and I got off the wrong exit, and she taps me on the back, and she goes, "I think you're playing over there." And I'm saying, "Why?" She goes, "Because your name is on the Golden Nugget building."
Not like above the door. Like again, look at the
It
background.
was
here.
great. It was a good feeling.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I posted it on Facebook, and I had like 800 likes, which I wouldn't get 800 likes if I was having breakfast with David Lee Roth. But
That's true.
it
It was big.
Yeah,
it was absolutely
nice,
big.
So
So understand something about Gene, right? So because I was there during those early days as a child, but also the 8 years ago, you understand something. He comes out. Most guys that are I've been in bands. I don't want to carry that. He would carry everything
Right.
in, out, set it up. I'm doing, making sure the
Right.
sound is right. Nothing.
I still do, guy.
Do you?
You're in.
Still do. I'm the singer.
You're hands-on, though.
But I'm the singer. Most singers walk in like prima donnas.
Right. You come in at the
maybe a
end
microphone.
after everything's
Here
all
I'm in
set up.
Atlantic City. I got 8 guys from the staff there. I have to come in with like more lights, more smoke, more outfits. It's just the way I am. It has to be done correctly.
Right.
Because
Right.
that's how people take you seriously.
Right.
There's a lot of tribute bands out here that are really, really great, and there's a lot of tribute bands out here like they're kind of goofy and cheesy what they do.
Right.
And I don't belittle any of these guys because
Right.
they're all great guys
Right.
and
And they all have their place.
they're all vying for the
and-
same thing.
and
Right.
Right.
But the point is, if you want to take it to that level, you have to really come in and show people, hey, I'm doing this for a living.
Right.
I want people
Right.
to walk out of my show going, wow, Completely Unchained kicked our asses tonight.
That's right.
And that's what we normally get after
Oh,
our
my
shows.
God.
And it's a great feeling. It's
awesome.
better than any drunk or bottle of beer I drank back in the 80s, I can tell you that.
Let's show a clip of Gene's band playing right
Okay.
now.
Yep.
Check this out.
Yep.
Did that kick your ass in
freaking
Gene
awesome.
Talk?
That's
How good.
awesome.
This is what I'm talking about. Johnny's so talented. They're all talented. Now you have a new guy he was in, he's out.
Right,
Let's
right.
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Kevin Humphreys was our original bass player when we first started. And, he's like one of the most humble guys you're ever going to meet. He's one of the best bass players. He's one of the greatest singers. But, what happens like in bands,
All the
sometimes-
time. Chemistry.
Yes. Well, we had great chemistry. What happened is sometimes people, they go in a different direction, in the direction that I want them to go in.
right.
And I'm not like, I don't tell everybody this is what you should or shouldn't do, but I need them to follow my lead because, I take this seriously. So it was a very, very, very easy transition to just grab Kevin and just move forward.
Wonderful.
It wasn't
Yep.
like a lot of drama on Facebook. Who's
Yeah.
in the band? Who's not in the band? Why do you know audition?
No, it was
me?
seamless.
Yeah.
Right.
It was completely
Call
seamless.
them up and be like, hey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Gene? I want to talk about early on because I grew up maybe a mile from Gene.
Okay.
I was in Newfield, he was in Comstock.
Right.
In some ways, as kids, we were rivals. We were friends, but we were rivals because being in a band back then was also competitive. Then it was competitive. I'm talking about when we were 15, 16. Not in
Well,
a
you know what
bad
it
way.
was? It was like if it was competitive. Like if you were doing a show at your high school and if I was doing a show at my high school, it was competitive. But once we all got together, it was like, oh, you guys are great, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's the way it should
You
be.
had to save face.
But
Right.
we're talking about
Had to save
we're talking
face.
about times on the schoolyard, the forts, making the fires. All those great things that go through my mind. But I want to ask you, why music to begin with? I know why I was in music. My grandfather was a musician. Why did you and the boys, your brothers, even get interested in music? What was the first thing that said, I got to do that?
I think it was. I think the whole concept of being a rock star, was just like the coolest thing in the world.
No.
father did like.
But you were sports. You did sports
Yeah,
too.
I love sports, but I was never. I always felt like I was always too small to be on the football team. I couldn't throw the fastball fast enough on the baseball team. You know, I didn't want to play soccer because I didn't want to wear shorts and those stupid socks. You know,
No wrestling
no,
either.
yeah, I didn't
With
want to
that-
get hurt.
With that hard.
But he's okay
that
wearing
hard
white shoes and
outfit.
red pants now.
Right. You know, back then Capizios and a pair of gold spandex were cool because they were in.
Yeah.
But I think the whole concept of like growing up and like, you know, like when I saw the first time I heard Running with the Devil or the first time I saw Steven Tyler, I'm like, wow, what a great job.
What a gig.
You know? So I think that's what happened.
But probably even before that, right? Because we're really talking about 72, 73, 74.
Well, with the Rolling Stones, you know.
There you go. That's
you
what I'm
know,
looking for.
I mean, the Beatles, don't get me wrong,
Yep.
was probably one of the greatest bands in the world.
But not so glam.
Right, and then
Yep.
you saw, and then like Led Zeppelin, you know, they weren't glam; they were just a good English
Solid.
rock. Yeah, it was
Right.
just like
Solid.
the greatest drummer in the world, the
Right.
greatest songwriting,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, these skinny little guys from England are running around doing this, and you were like, "Wow, is that? Are they making money doing that?" And it was cool, you know. It just
cool.
felt really cool.
So the other thing about that is we did have people to look up to, and we both know who I'm going to make reference to, the Rondinellis, both Teddy and Bobby Rondinelli, who are older than us by a little, or Bobby maybe 4 or 5 years
Did
at
they
least.
go to Comstock too?
They went to Comstock.
Oh, they
So
did.
what Tony and I were talking about, we both know Tony Montani, my cousin, is, wait a minute, there was a plantation of people to look up to. Now I'm hearing, and I didn't even know this, John Maselli went to Comstock?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
John's an amazing drummer. He's with Meatloaf.
Meatloaf's
right.
drummer 25 years. So you had
Wow.
people to look up to,
Yeah.
And you also had people that said this is possible.
Yeah.
But I always
Right.
remember, I don't know, back in the day, you say you were around back in the day. Do you remember the White Rabbit? Because he
course.
played the White Rabbit.
No.
You know how many times
didn't
I
know the
stumbled
White
out of that place?
Where was it?
Port
They-
Jefferson
You know what
Station.
the White Rabbit used to have? They had like a Thursday night. I think it was $15. It was called Suicide Night.
Oh, Lord.
All you could drink.
Oh, Lord.
And let me tell you something. Literally, it was Suicide Night. You know, no one got hurt there. I think there was one
Oh, yeah.
shooting there. There was one shooting there. And I think I knew the guy who shot him.
But he's talking
But
about
I
the
won't-
time when I was also playing. So it was the White Rabbit. Remember Center Stage?
Yeah.
I was
How-
16 playing in Center
I was
Stage.
going to say, how old were
in
you?
Quorum.
We were like
16, 17.
17, yeah.
Playing at the White Rabbit.
Yeah.
But for him, it went a step further. Again,
Right.
he came out with a record.
I did
Rough
an EP
Cut
with
had a
my band
record.
Rough Cut. Right?
Nobody else had a record. You guys had a record.
Yeah, we did an EP. We started. It was that band was me, my brother Thomas, who is doing very, very, very well. He's in Alice Cooper. He plays with the Hollywood Vampires. He became very close with Johnny Depp and Joe Perry
Right.
and all the guys from the Stone Temple Pilots. And
Yeah.
he's in a whole nother league.
Okay.
You know, he's in like that.
Yeah.
Like. People just love my brother.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter who you are. Once you meet him, he's infectious. It's like,
Yeah,
I want
agree
to
with
work
that.
with this
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was the three of us, and we had this band, Rough Cut, and we used to work at this place called the White Rabbit. And the bouncer there, this guy, Big Bill, used to work with Motley Crue and Dio. So he used to tell us when he was back from being in L.A., he'd be like, you gotta do this band Motley Crue. And I'm like, Motley Crue? Who are they? We didn't even know who they were. So he gives us this record.
Because we knew Kiss and Alice Cooper were the makeup guys, not Motley Crue.
Right. So
Yep.
he gives us this record, that the first Motley Crue record, like Too Fast for Love, and I'm listening to him like, this is a spook. This sucks, you know. But he said, I'm telling you,
Energy.
start doing it. So Rough Cut, we're a 3-piece band. Motley Crue was a 4-piece band. We started doing Motley Crue as like a tribute, and
Okay.
nobody knew who they were on Long Island. And then people,
Really?
yeah, well, they thought
Yeah,
it was
no, it's
basically
true.
our original stuff. We're like, no, this
Okay.
band Motley Crue that
Yeah.
a friend of ours worked for said, start doing it. You know, and we started doing it. So we started combining the Motley Crue, and then we started writing songs, and then we got a little interest in Atlantic, and and then things fell apart.
Right.
I went my way. My
Right.
brother got a deal with Doro. She's
That's right.
a German artist that he went to
Okay.
Europe with.
Okay.
And then Rojo, he wanted to be the next Danny Terrio, and he shipped off to Jersey, and became a sales rep for Sam Ash, and then 30 years later, we all find
And you're
ourselves like,
all,
right?
almost all of you are all back together
Oh
again.
man, it would be great
Talk
to get
about
together,
coming
me and my
full
brother
circle.
Perfection.
Rojo.
It
I know.
really is.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I remember your brother. What was the other place? It's now Handlebar. Or what? Back in the day,
Decembers.
December's. You're a genius for remembering that. Your brother doing Ozzy. I have a
Right.
vision of him putting it all on the line, and that's the one thing I have to say about all of them.
Yeah.
But your brother, he fronted that band, if I remember. He sang the Ozzy.
We had a guy named Jimmy Quinn who's a great guitar player. He did the Ozzy.
Right.
My brother did the Crew. And then Rojo did like Y&T and Saxon. And then I'd come out and do the Van Halen. But it all became a circus, but a good circus.
Right.
Everybody had a good time doing it.
Now, there was a period there, we'll get into this rock star stuff that I love to go through, where you were absolutely off the hook, right?
I was off the hook every night.
No, you were off the hook every night. I mean, like, didn't you, like, trash a couple of hotels? Like,
well, you always trash a couple hotels, because when you're growing up in the 80s and you got Hit Parade, that magazine, and you're going through it and you're looking at, like, Tommy Lee throwing a television. I know, it's funny now you mentioned. I got arrested in. I was working with my brother in Boston. Oh my God, yeah. I threw a television.
Let's talk about it.
Holy, I can't believe you remember that. That's
it was famous, man. It was really famous.
It wasn't good though.
It wasn't good, and this is where I want to get to. So, and I want
But that's what you were.
You inspire me in this way too. So. And you tell in your own words, you made a change in your life.
Absolutely.
And that change was about what year and why? And
I changed my life in 1996. You got to remember, like from 1980, let me think, like the late 80s to like 1996, I was in a fog.
Yeah.
I was drinking, I was doing drugs, and I couldn't find my way.
Right.
Absolutely.
I was very insecure, and I had no job, and life sucked because I wasn't a rock star, and I felt
How
sorry
come I
for
didn't
myself.
get it?
What you had envisioned and thought of what it was supposed to be.
And I felt sorry for myself. And
Right.
then in 1996, I got a DWI.
Okay.
And it changed my life. I did my 12-step program walking from the judge to the parking lot at the East Islip court building, and I didn't go to AA meetings.
you just stopped.
Just
Yeah,
did
well,
it.
something in your brain.
Shifted.
Yeah,
Yep.
something tells you, you don't want to do this. That's why, like, when I see some
That's
of
really
my friends,
amazing, man. I'm
but
very proud of it.
Like, I see some of my friends that drink a lot,
It's awesome.
I'm not
It is.
saying they have a problem,
Right.
but there comes a time in your life, like when you're 50 and you're 55, and you're in a bar on a Friday night, and you're drinking like it's 1982 at Solomon Grundy's. I'm like, what are you getting
What-
out of
what-
this?
God, what a
yeah.
memory.
And there's still people that do that.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't sit there and like beat them up, but I sit them and say, listen, look at my life, how much
Right.
it's changed.
Right. Right.
I mean, I feel like I'm doing very well. I mean, obviously I want to do better.
Right.
But where I am in my life right now, I'm very comfortable. I have a home in Florida now. I
Right.
travel back and forth. I have a
Right.
great band.
Right.
I have a great girlfriend. So everything's
Besides the
good.
fact, look at his body.
Well,
if
you
I
look
may say.
amazing.
He has to look amazing
but
for what
you
he
can
does.
see you look healthy.
No,
Thank
he's very,
you.
and you
You
know
look
that because she's in
healthy.
wellness. She's in wellness.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
nutritionist, so you look healthy.
Well, I work out every day.
You
I
know.
drink a lot of water.
Yeah, you
I
do.
try to get rest.
Right.
Being a rock star and being on the road. Like when I speak to my brother, and he lives in Switzerland, and he flies all the way to Switzerland, and he's in LA, and he's doing an album. Then he's got to do rehearsal with all of these famous people.
my God.
He loves it, but you could
Depletes
just
you.
hear in his voice.
He's tired.
It'll knock you out if you're not taking care
Just
of
to
yourself.
travel
properly.
alone
Right.
will do
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And then your eating habits, you have to make sure you're not eating all that fast food because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're on the bus, you don't have time. But, where he is in his life and what he does, I'm sure he's eating at the best restaurants.
Right.
But, you have to rest. People think you could just keep going and going. It's not like that.
Gene, when you made that decision in '96, is it true that things just kind of you make your own luck almost? Like things really start to fall into place business-wise? Because you started a
Absolutely.
company. Let's talk about that. You started an idol company where you had
Right.
thousands, if not 10,000s of kids over the years sing in a show production in high school.
Well, here's what happened.
And he fronted that
Yeah,
thing,
when I-
literally hundreds of shows.
When I got sober in '96, I started working with my brothers
Okay.
doing construction because you're on probation and you
Yeah.
have to have a job.
Right.
I always wanted to get music
Right.
back in.
Right.
I I needed to
Just needed to take a little back seat.
But
Right.
when it's right.
Right.
So, and then like in the late '90s, I got a phone call from my buddy Mike Del Giudice, and he said, let's put a Billy Joel band. And Mike's a very talented guy.
Right.
So we put the Billy Joel band together because I wanted to get back into playing. I knew it was going to work because
Right.
Billy Joel's Long Island, we're Long Island, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the midst of all of that, I played with Mike from like 1999 to 2003. I had a great time. I made some money.
Right.
I started getting my business sense
Getting your
back.
head right.
So then, after I departed with him, I decided American Idol just came out on television, but this was a couple years after. So like 2005, I hooked up with this guy, Dennis Feldman, and I had a brainstorm of doing American Idol shows at the schools, but as a fundraiser. You know, because you can't go into a school on Long Island and say, listen, I got this company. I want $3,000. They're going to be like, well, where are we going to get it?
Yeah.
So, you know, an easy sell was to say, hey, let's go in.
Right.
We'll take a percentage on how many people come to see the kids, you know, because all the kids, they love to sing.
Yeah.
You know, they love to sing. So I started this company, Music Idol, and it seems like when you're doing something for kids, people gravitate.
Right.
So I got some good sponsorship, Cactus Hair Salon, McDonald's, I DJ Now. Who else was on? Who else was
Yeah,
sponsoring?
some WBLI was part of it.
WBLI. I forgot.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So what we would do is we get these schools involved, and we would do just like American Idol, an audition process. Have the kids sing 30 seconds, and some schools we had, there was like 125 kids, but you can't put that in a show.
Yeah.
And I hated telling a kid you didn't make the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
I know.
You know. So we
It's
would
done
take,
in the sports teams.
Yeah. So we would take 40 or 50 kids from each school, and we do a show at their school,
Okay.
and we would raise money for the PTA
Right.
or the music department,
Right.
whoever we were doing
Right.
the show for.
Right.
And you know something, what I realized out of these shows, I loved them. First of all, I loved working with the kids, and
He was emceeing the whole show
it was
Fantastic.
Yeah. And
while he has the band going.
yeah, well, Big Shot was done then, so
Okay.
now I focus
Oh, okay.
Solely
on
that.
Music Idol. Yeah.
Right.
So, I just loved working with the kids, and, the kids were never a problem. It was the parents. The parents were like...
As
I'm like,
always.
Why didn't
Right.
Jill win this?
Right.
Little
Well,
Jill.
why didn't my daughter win this? Well, I'm sorry, we don't have the Escalade. We have the bag filled with gifts from all of our sponsors. But what happened was we would raise money for the school. And what I started finding out as we continued to do, and I still do it,
Okay.
we continued to do it, was we started taking kids, with disabilities and kids that were never in the school plays. And it turned out to be like a self-esteem builder now.
Awesome.
So then
awesome.
and it was great because it was like at the end of a show, I'd have like grandparents or even parents. They would come up to me and say, "Do you realize what you do for some of these children?" And I said, "I do realize." And
On that level.
right
On that level.
I pat on the back, but I love what I do. So I don't need a pat.
Yeah.
Just that
Right.
compliment alone
Right.
was better than.
Right.
Any
Right.
drug I
Yeah,
did in
yeah,
1980,
yeah.
that high from having a mother or a grandparent or a father or an aunt or an uncle come up to me and say, "Hey, this is really
it was
really
wonderful.
nice what you do."
Wonderful.
And I'm raising money,
Right.
and it doesn't cost the school
It was
because
win-win-win.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
no matter.
It really
what.
was.
That's why I go into some schools and I'll explain it to like the PTA or the board, and then they'll start questioning me because they look at you like, "What do you mean it's for nothing?" I go, "It's for nothing." We get a percentage on how many people come to see the
Yeah.
children.
It was a good
Right.
model.
I take the loss.
Yeah.
I have a crew that I have to pay.
Yeah.
I'm the one that has to set up
Right.
all this equipment.
Right.
All you need to do is get a date in the auditorium and get kids to sign up. And I'll take care of everything else. But 15 years now I've been doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Very
still
successful.
doing it.
Many auditoriums full.
Oh, yeah, I've had probably,
Many.
I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Oh, hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
Yeah.
With tens of thousands of kids in the audience.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
And it's funny because I'll be sitting in a restaurant and like some kid, or even like on the side of the stage with some little kid, and someone will come up to me in a
Here's
restaurant.
They call him Mr. Gene.
Right. Someone will come up. Like someone came up to me the other night. Where was I the other night? I was doing a New Year's Eve party.
Okay.
Doing sound, and a parent came up to me and they're like, "Oh man, Music Idol, so great." And I'm like, "Why you have to?" "Oh, my daughter was in it for like when she went to Half Hollow Hills. Brianna Robinson, great singer."
Yep.
And that's a nice feeling. And then I'd be on the side of the stage emceeing a show, and like one of the little kids will look up to me and go, "Mr. Gene, my mother comes to see you play." And I'm like, "Your mother sees me in a whole different outfit." You know what I mean? Because the Van Halen thing, it's like,
Yeah, that's the
Gene
other,
is the
that's
most
the other
shirtless
side of
man in Long Island. I will tell you that right
I
now.
work hard to go shirtless, my friend.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There are not many. I'm telling you that. I don't even think David Lee Roth looks as good as you right now.
Yeah. 55, man.
Yeah, wonderful, man. Really
Yeah,
good
I
stuff.
feel great. Thank you.
Good
Yeah.
good
Awesome.
stuff. I know. I sent you a video yesterday of Gina Mangoria. You might not remember this.
Wait a second. Gina was in Shoreham.
Yes, sir.
Wait a
And
minute.
she was on.
Is her father Sal?
Sal.
Yeah. Let me tell you. I became.
They're coming on a show. right after you.
I did. Oh, they're going to be here. What time is it? What time?
They're here.
They're here.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
there they are. I didn't even see them. Me and Sal met at a gig. I did sound for his Crosby, Stills, Nash Young tribute, who are amazing. Four-Way
Oh my
Street.
God, what a small world.
And here I am at the end of the night, and I'm moving the equipment out, and I just meet him and his brother, and they start lifting equipment, and I'm like, who are these guys? They were great, and now they're moving my equipment. I need to be friends with these guys. And then me and Sal, we went out to lunch a few times, and we just hit it off. And then he was telling me about his great daughter, and
Oh my God, what a small world.
Yeah, and it's all good. You know, everything's good when you meet people like that.
So
awesome.
we're gonna have Gina on, but do you remember? Did she sing in Idol?
Yeah, she did sing in Idol.
She sang in Idol. So
Right.
this is how crazy this is. Hi, Gina. How are you? Did you sing in Idol?
Yeah.
What are the
voice.
chances?
Yeah, I
What are the
know.
So
Hey, good people are bound to be in
Yeah,
the
Always.
same.
we all get back
It's this
together.
thing.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. I think we covered a lot.
I think so. Now, when are you?
That's
when
what we
are you
wanna hear.
playing again. I want to.
Well, anybody that
He's
wants
too big for us now. I don't know if Long Islanders can see him anymore. I'll be honest. I don't know if you can see him.
If you want to check out the band's website, it's completelyunchainedrocks.com. The
Okay.
fan page is Unchained.
Okay.
And musicidolusa.com
Okay.
is the website for anybody that's interested in doing a fundraiser at this school.
Okay.
Beautiful. And we have some
Fantastic.
contacts there, so we'll get that out. When's
Okay.
the very next time Completely Unchained's on Long Island?
The next
like a
time-
show that you could recommend.
April 22nd will be at the Nutty Irishman in Farmingdale. I know we just talked about like 1,000-seat casinos, and I'm going to be at the Nutty Irishman in Farmingdale.
That's okay. Well, you know what? Let's talk,
I know.
Let's talk a little bit about that because, you know, that is important. Long Island's a strange place that way because we both went through the ranks 30 years now of seeing in the 80s, it was obliterated, the live music scene. It didn't exist.
Right.
Was it the 80s or the mid-90s?
No, the mid-90s.
The mid-90s,
when,
sorry.
like Nirvana and all of those.
It didn't exist.
Those Seattle bands came in. It was
Right.
like, you know, if you had a bouffant and eyeliner, you were like,
You're out.
You're done,
Yeah.
dude.
You're
And
done.
we went
Find
through,
another job, guy.
yeah, a heavy recorded music thing. But now I have to say, and I think you'll agree with me, that live music is back.
Oh, it's back.
And I do some bookings just with singles and duos, and we're booked every week,
Right.
and it works. I work with Acoustic Soul, Tom Dosher, who you know. And even the other night, Vixen Zebra, 1,200 sold out.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I just sat back and I said, this feels like Hammerhead's 82.
Yeah.
There's nothing about it that doesn't, except maybe
Yeah.
the price of the beer. I don't know, but
Right.
it's back.
It was good. You know, but we were talking earlier. It's just, for some reason, when the Van Halen band leaves Long Island, it's just the energy level of like these other people are coming to. You know, I don't know if it's because they
We
don't
get
have
it.
great sit.
That's what it
Well,
is.
I don't know if they don't have great tribute bands or they love it so much. Like, you know, people always like the '80s is dead. It's really not. I
Right.
mean, we were the only band that sold out at this casino. Next week we're playing in Maryland. Besides an AC/DC tribute and this band Kicks, which is a big rock band from Maryland.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, but all the other bands like the Chicago tribute and the Neil Young tribute, they didn't sell out. So there are specific areas in the country where that rock and roll is still alive and it's big.
Pennsylvania. is
Yeah,
one of them.
Pennsylvania.
baby.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But you're going to laugh when I say this, and you know what I'm going to say. When I see tribute bands in Pennsylvania, I laugh a little. They're not the caliber of your
No,
band.
no.
And you must go, yeah, I got that whipped.
Yeah.
And that's why they do love you more, because we see it here and they don't.
Right.
Well, you know, the tribute bands on Long Island, because when you get in that tribute world, you know, you go online and you look and see who you
Definitely.
and you don't want to look at it like who you're competing with. You want to look at like, wow, why are they playing there when I should be playing at the House of Blues? Well, it's because the House of Blues is in California,
Right.
not on Long Island.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
sometimes people don't have the budget. But, you know, the greatest tribute bands on Long Island, I mean, there's Livewire, an AC/DC
Yep.
tribute.
Chris,
There's
good
Almost
friend.
Queen.
Yep.
Great Queen tribute band. You know, it's Completely Unchained.
Yep.
You know, those are the ones off the top of my head. And then you got your Eagles tribute, you got your Billy Joel tributes.
Sure.
You know, you got some really, really great tribute bands on Long Island.
Yes.
You know?
Strong.
Yeah,
Very
and
strong.
good. It's still great venues. Paramount, 89 North,
Yeah.
as you know. And what I'm saying is, for a while, those went away. They're back. Those venues are even back. But let's go check them out. And Bay Shore, Nutty Irishman, right?
I'll be there.
April 22nd.
You know,
yeah.
unless you
will
want
be
to do an
there.
overnight Atlantic City, we'll get permission from Phil and Lisa. Thank you, Gene. It's
Okay,
been a
buddy.
panic. Really great stuff. Come on anytime, man.
Oh, I'd love to. Thanks for having me.
Thank
Kev.
you.